Welcome to Master Trader's Weekly Trade Review. I'm Dan Gibby, and typically in these lessons we go over one or multiple trades that we have finished for the prior week, and we show you valuable lessons of how to profit using the Master Trader approach. I'm going to do something different this week. With the markets being extended right now, they had the last 2-day rally has been very robust. We have a bullish bias. But I'm going to focus on today, and we're going to switch over to real charts right now over the weekend, because I want you to follow a lot of these trade ideas that I'm going to share with you as we're doing with subscribers, because we want to find opportunity today for next week and not chase the things that have been winning. So I called today's title, How to Trade Beaten Down Stocks. Let's call them bottoming patterns or climactic buy setups. I'm going to focus on now that many of the markets are extended, particularly technology, software, AI stocks, the Nasdaq 100. These are all bullish patterns. Now, there's bullish patterns everywhere. I'm not going to focus on all bullish patterns in this session. I'm going to focus on that narrow list that I just defined for you in terms of the beaten down ones. But our technical approach to trading anything that moves starts with a compelling pattern, and then we overlay the other concepts that make up our approach to determine whether I have a high probability setup or not. You'll see when I go through these charts, but some of the concepts include, okay, where is this pattern in the overall trend? Is it on support or resistance? What do multiple time frames suggest? Is it showing relative strength or weakness to the broader markets? What are the broader markets doing, of course? And then we just enter and manage in between. Just a couple of notes here about bottoming patterns, because I'm going to start with a lot of those. Typically, if something is showing relative weakness in a downtrend, then it's weak for a reason, and it could be just a trap for the bottom fisher trying to buy cheap, and the issue can get even cheaper. We have a specific approach to make these bottoming patterns high odds setups. Again, I'm going to show you many examples, but a couple points here. I want the 20 and preferably the 50 to flatten out, because then by definition that's telling me that the supply-demand relationship has stabilized and it's not going down anymore, because otherwise these MAs wouldn't flatten out. I'm always looking for something more. That's what I'm showing you, Inspector Clouseau here. We call it like an event or a tell from a poker standpoint. It's like, okay, I got you now. There's my something extra to say, now I have the confidence to enter this bottoming pattern. With all of our setups, we need what we call a price void, which today we're only focused on bullish patterns. So that means look to the left, and there's insignificant resistance or congestion to enable that bullish setup to move higher towards resistance. We're going to switch over to real charts right now, but many of these patterns that I'm going to review with you right now, we are giving our subscribers both stock and option trades, and these are included in the Master Trader Advisory Swing and Option Trader, where it has very detailed intermarket analysis, our techno-fundamental approach. My partner Greg Capper does a detailed review over the weekend, and we have many stock and option trade ideas. Go to mastertrader.com/advisory swing. Take a no-brainer 1-month trial. Let's start with the broader markets here and then put it in the context of what we're faced with for this coming market week. The spiders here, Thursday, Friday, in anticipation of the debt ceiling, which was done, some favorable economic news. We have a very decisive gap closing breakout, daily, weekly chart. We have a price void on multiple time frames, so we have a bullish bias. However, we've had a big run from this 20-period moving average, and we don't want to trade the spiders right now. And hence, the purpose of today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to trade higher probability setups. IWM here has been the laggard. The Russell 2000 ETF has been the laggard for many months, particularly with the weakness in the regional banks. It's been in a boring, wide trading range here, daily, weekly. and it had a monster gap closing breakout. So this interests us, but again, I'm looking to get back on a pullback. It has this price void. Diamonds was also lagging for a long time. Little retest here on the 200. Monster move to the top part of this resistance. I have no interest in trading this ETF. Qs have been the strongest with the FAANG stocks, with technology, software, AI stocks. This is the most extended, most bullish, but the most bullish doesn't mean that's the best opportunity to buy. Number one, there's no setup. Number two, there's no logical stop on whatever time frame you're trading. And number three, there's no, it's extended. Look how far it is from the 20 from the 50 to the 200. Now let's go over and look at my watch list here for many trading ideas. You write down the ones you like, but I'm here to illustrate how to trade these bottoming patterns, and then we'll switch over to climactic patterns. ARK-F, this is one of the Kathy Wood's ARK funds. We're already long this particular ETF in our ETF investment trader, which is a longer term hold. Look at the amazing, we had a consolidation. Look at all the flat moving averages on the daily chart. Look at a weekly chart, folks. This is a major multi-month bottom. So this move with the closing breakout on the weekly chart, and this is a price void, as I said. Look to the left, there's insignificant resistance. Sure, this is a pivot and this is a pivot, which is going to cause some resistance. We don't expect it to go straight up. Check out the monthly chart also, not shown, but that's a beautiful retest bottom. And this has much more potential. So again, we're already in this, but keep an eye on it on a pullback. Regional banks got killed here with some of those collapses. Here's another bottoming pattern. It had a wide range closing breakout on the daily chart. Now it's not a great entry here, but KW, here's the other regional bank. Now this one looks better. This one could churn its way up into here somewhere. Notice the 20 and the 50 flattening out. We had a breakdown failure, and so this one looks a tad better. HRI, bottoming pattern, folks. Look at this red bar. That's a nasty red bar at multi-month lows on the daily weekly chart. It had an immediate, what we call 180 reversal, and then it's building a base of demand. It's building a bottom. Again, back to the title of today's session, intelligent bottom fishing. 20 MA, 50 MA flattened out. We have a gap, closing breakout, has a void here. LNC, this is an insurance company, part of the beaten down insurance sector. Broker dealers and the regional banks all got whacked together because of their exposure to these big depositors, which is part of their business model. So that's a beautiful bottoming pattern. And when options are liquid, we use them both to buy options and sell options. Buying options is what we call a directional trade. Selling options, an income trade. So for example, we already gave this to our weekly options trader on Friday on this gap up. We said short the $20 put, right where this horizontal line is, and we take in the premium, and we have an obligation to buy the underlying stock on or before expiration at $20. But I'm not doing it to buy the stock. I'm doing it because I think last week's low is going to hold for until next Friday's expiration, and we keep that premium as pure profit. But it's a directional trade also. Charlie Echo here, gap breakout. Now this one's extended now, but I'll keep it on my list to see if it can chop around sideways for another couple days, give us what's called a bullish 1, 2, 3, 4 continuation. Another big bottoming pattern here on Wayfair, symbol W whiskey. Closing breakout, big price void. Notice, look at this bottoming pattern on the weekly, and it's a better bottoming pattern. So I'm not suggesting these are ready to go unless I tell you otherwise, but they're beautiful watch items for, in our opinion, a higher probability of profit as a new trade versus chasing the winners that have already been moving. X, US Steel, bottoming pattern, nothing to do right now, but there are signs of bottoming here. It's in a trading range for a month, breakdown failure, big gap at resistance. Ideally, I want this to go sideways at resistance for a number of days, then break out. That's when we will send a Telegram alert to our subscribers. Square, it's up 3 bars, bottoming pattern, 20 MA flattened out. Nothing to do right now, but on the watch list. Jets ETF, wide range closing breakout from a bottoming pattern. So ideally, this would also chop around for another day or two, and then we buy a breakout. We actually are giving this stock to our subscribers over the weekend. Hawaiian Airlines, same sector. Bottoming pattern, notice breakdown failure, snap right back. 20 and 50, flattening out. Price void. This one is good to go for our subscribers over Friday's high. Stop under Thursday's low. GRWG in the cannabis sector, notice a multiple week, what we call a turn. It's built a new, and it's retested it twice. 50 MA flattening out. I got a rising 20. I got a price void. That's good to go actually over Friday's high. General Motors, big bottoming pattern, 2050 flattened out. On Friday, we bought call options, two week to expiration. For a move somewhere between 35 and 36 bucks is our target on that. ALLG, look at this, a $2 stock, but it's still a bottoming pattern. It has a light volume, which is why we would never give it, but I'm just showing you this, that our approach applies to anything that moves. So this is a bottoming pattern. Look at this red bar, had no follow through to what we say. So the entry, if you do like trading, lighter volume, $2 stocks, would be over the high of this red bar. And you have a price void above. Coin, this is a Coinbase in the Bitcoin space. Broke out, inside bar, slopping around. Look at the flat, fairly flat, 50 and 200. Rising 20. It needs some more time to set up, and then that could have a target between 70 and 72, and also a put selling candidate. XOP trading range. This is a put selling candidate under Thursday's low if it trades above Friday's high. C's. This is SeaWorld and the leisure, and it made this bullish turn. Look at all these converging moving averages. Says that that's an inflection point, and Friday's bullish close, that suggests higher prices. XLF, I already showed you the regional banks. This is the bigger banks, XLF. It's in a trading range, but it broke out. So then using our top-down approach, we drilled down looking for other opportunities within the sector. I found BAC, Bank of America, another bottoming pattern. Closing breakout. This is what we call a W bottom on the weekly, so multiple time frames are in alignment. That is good to go. We're going to buy call options over Friday's high. Morgan Stanley, just it's a bottoming pattern. It would be a put spread candidate if there's any premium under Thursday's low. Now I'm going to talk about one other strategy before we sign off, called the climactic buy setup, because as the title of today's session is, I'm looking for beaten down stocks for new opportunity to play catch up, meaning money will be rotating into these beaten down stocks because they're looking for a better return also, instead of chasing things that are too extended. Target here, this is what we call a climactic buy setup. It's 5 or more fluid bars down, far from the 20-period moving average, and we have some type of potent reversal, and this is by definition, all climactic buy or sell setups have this price void because of the momentum move. We actually entered a put spread on Thursday, and Friday had a higher high, higher low closing bar with a price void. So it's good to go as a new trade over Friday's high. HIB, climactic buy setup, far from the 20. Look at the weekly, it's also a climactic buy setup, but there is no turn yet. So it's still on my watch list until I get this potent turn. Ulta, climactic buy setup. This Friday is a potent turn, a big wide range expansion green bar with a price void. But because that's such a big green bar, it's extended intraday. So ideally, it'll again go sideways for a day or two, give us a 1, 2, 3 continuation from a climactic into the void, both for a directional trade and this income trade I talked about. This one, you know, same but different, although at least this one has some support here to the left, whereas some of those other ones, you didn't even see any support to the left. And this bar is just too big is all. Ideally, I would have wanted this bar to be what we call a 180 reversal to close right at Thursday's high. Then I would have given that to subscribers over the high, but it's extended. But it still has a void, so I'm going to keep it on my list to watch for an entry. Budweiser, you know, got killed with all their woke policies, daily, weekly, or Climos. I don't care about the woke. I care about making money using our technical approach. It's up 3 bars. So ideally, it'll pull in and give us a higher low, which would then set up what we call a W bottom retest from a climactic buy setup. And then that would be a phenomenal entry. 2 more, SE. Sold off hard. It's not a potent reversal, but it has a big void to the 20 period moving average, so it's on my watch list. Finally, FL, nasty gap on earnings, failed a climactic buy setup, but this is one that we would never take because that's not a potent turn. But I kept it on my list looking for a new opportunity. And now it's still not ready. But the fact that it made a new low and then stopped going down, it's the start. Sometimes our watch list, they take a while, potentially on the time frame you're watching, to set up a high probability setup. But this one's worth watching because of the big void to the upside, again, for a put spread or a directional trade for a bounce. So I hope that helps. Again, here's our link to the advisory swing and options trader where our subscribers will get many of these trades. And during the week, we send Telegram alerts in real time, both for new opportunity, trade adjustments, mastertrader.com/advisory swing. As always, email my partner, Greg Capper, or me. Good trading. Look forward to seeing you in the next trade review video.